Good morning, everybody. Happy, what is it, Liberation Day? Is April 2nd now
Happy.
officially Liberation Day?
It's unofficially Liberation Day.
Unofficial Liberation Day. Okay. So are we going to feel liberated after today? That's what I want to know.
I would like to be liberated from some fear and doubt. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, me
we'll see
too.
what the markets how they react. So far, it looked promising yesterday, and then it just kind of like ended right back in the middle. A lot of up and downs yesterday. Like if you were following any one particular stock, it was a great day for trading in and out just because it was so volatile. Up 5%, down 5%, up 5%, down 5%.
Yeah.
And then today they're just ready
All
to go
right.
any old way. But go ahead.
Yeah, and no, just today, like, yeah, the pre-market is so scary already. It's like down 1%. People are panicking already. After yesterday's nice little gain, people are in panic mode again. So
Well, I guess I
I
should
can
tease that
start
I
off.
do have after yeah, after your indices. When we get to Tesla, I've got some great news about Tesla. But go ahead and start us
Yeah,
off, man.
yeah, I'll do the SPY, QQQ, IDM, Bitcoin, and then we'll jump into your Tesla good news. So Benny is hedging Tesla position with a small short in case we tank on deliveries. Okay. All right. So we'll see here with the SPY. What is it doing pre-market? Well, it's doing really nothing. So it's in the same zone as it has been for the whole week, right? You can see the pre-market's at 555.34, and it's still, that price is still above the weekly cloud, still above this 1.414 fib extension at the 548.25. So not much, right? They just shot it up, a green candle from the bottom, basically, and now they're sending it halfway back. So that's basically what it's doing, giving up half the candle's gains so far. So I think could it go back down to retest the cloud in the low 500s again? Yeah, of course it can. So this up and down price action can continue until it really tries to establish some kind of base here. So that's really what I'm focused on for the SPY, just staying above the cloud, staying above that 548 for the whole week, right? It can do whatever it wants within the week, but I would prefer it to stay above that 548 zone. And QQQ also going right back down to the 465, and that's something that I cared about, that I only care about for the whole week as well. And everything else is just noise. So if it goes up to the 480s, I still don't really care that much because it's still stuck under resistance. But if it just maintains above the 465 and the cloud here, then that's fine. So that's going to be my main focus for the QQQ. And with the IWM, this one is going back down towards the bottom of the cloud again. I would prefer it to stay above this 198.80, so that's going to be my main focus for the week. But at least stay inside the cloud is good enough. So it's just doing exactly that. So that's really 197.12 pre-market. So I think it's just in the same range that it has been in this whole week as well. So nothing really has changed despite the redness you see on the screen here. It's just normal price action after going up back to resistance zones, getting kind of rejected, and then now it's going back down to the support zones. So let's watch for those support zones to hold. It's very important for a continuation higher. And I'll jump into Bitcoin just to take a look here, just to see what it's like. And it is getting back above that 83,558. Also, what's important to notice is the baseline of the Ichimoku is 84,112. It's also getting back above that. That is a great development, right? So 2 weeks ago it closed above both. Last week it closed below both, and now we have an opportunity to get back above both again. So we need that support to maintain any kind of uptrend. So staying above 84,112 would be the best case scenario for the whole week for Bitcoin.
Yes. All right. Let's see. Well, without further ado, I'll do a Tesla. Sorry, I teased that already. Even though I
Yeah, go
want to
ahead.
do a little bit Bitcoin, but do that later. So here's Tesla on a 1 hour chart, and here's where we. It looked like it was going to go down, but then it made a higher high and faked everyone out, including me. And then from that 291.85 high, ran all the way down to 243, which was still a higher low than the 215 that we have down here. And then we get a lower high, but a higher low. The really exciting thing that I'm looking at here, though, this 215.01 low to the 290. I'm sorry, right here, the high. I'm looking at that as like a minor degree one, wave one, and then wave two back here to 243.36. And what we got was yesterday it ran up to the 382, got a little bit over it just for a little bit of fake out, and then back under it again. And this morning we're right at the tension for support. Now I've seen this pattern many times, and what I'm happy to, well, chronologically speaking, it could sort of muddle underneath the 236 for a little bit, but as long as it's a new lower low, than 243.36, it could muddle under here for a little bit. Go up. It's going to go 382, 236, and then 1236. So we're looking at once it finally says support, it should blast through the 382. You'll see some oscillation fibs, but the next target is 338.33 up here for this 1236 fib extension. Then you're going to see a run back to the 764 for support at $302, and then the 236 takes us back to our old friend, not 414.50 exactly, but there's 415.17. And then so when you back up and look at this, it does indeed look like the V-shaped correction I'm looking for in Tesla. And then once it gets up to 415, it'll consolidate a little bit before working on making a new higher high than 492. And then we're back to my big pattern, which is this one, where from 100% here to this 236, looking for 1382, 100%. Actually, this is, yeah, that's right. Looking for 1382, 100%, and then 2382. That's $1,000. So once again, as far as my prediction of $711 by July, mid-July, I'm not so sure we're going to make it anymore. It's entirely possible that even with the best velocity, I don't know, maybe we just end the year about 642, back to 492 in the beginning of next year, and then 1,000 might have to wait till 2026, later 2026. We'll see. Anything's possible, but that's the current trajectory I'm tracking. Yeah, but still be a good year for Tesla. But that's it. The great news is on the short term, it looks like we're gonna V our way back right back up to 415 again.
Win, tracker, right. Win.
And how about Matt? I know, right? Like it's all to, and then again, so I think max pain for this week is still 260 for Friday. So they could the numbers could look bad. They could muddle down here around 250 again, all the way back to 250. But then eventually reclaim this 236 and then shoot up. So, or they'll just say, oh, all the bad is already priced in, and it just takes off. We're going to know in about 22 minutes, usually about 9 a.m. before the 9:30 market open is when Tesla releases those numbers. So we'll know.
Yeah, we'll be
just
live
before the show ends here, I think.
We'll be live.
Yeah, we will be live.
Yeah, all right. I'll get.
So with that said,
I got some Tesla. I got some Tesla here. Yeah, let me switch over. So Tesla on this chart here. So you can see it's just stuck in between fibs. Clearly, right? It's in a channel basically, and this horizontal channel basically, and it's 242 up to 272, and you can see massive wicks below, massive wicks above, and it's just in the middle. So if you look at it this way, it's really just stuck in a range, right, between the 240s and the 270s, and then you can add on a little bit more stuff with the with the SMAs here. And also, guess what's up there too? That's the 50 week. So it's getting rejected at that, wicks above. And you got wicks below the 200 and the 100 week moving average down here. And it's also right in the middle of that range. So it's just kind of stuck in the middle of a range. And there's really nothing to fear, in my opinion, because that is just the range I think it wants to stay in. And people can freak out over the overnight price action, but in reality, it's just like the SPY, QQQ, IWM. They're just in the same range they have been the whole week, right? So it's no different than how it was Monday, Tuesday, whatever. It's just the same situation for Tesla. And when we go to this chart here, let me just show you the symmetry of it all again. And I'm going to take off all this stuff here so we can see it better. And it's still maintaining that arc, still maintaining this angle as support. And I think what we're going to see is something hopefully kind of like a V-shaped recovery, right? It could just come back down a little bit more, maybe in the 250s if it wanted to. I don't know. But I think, yeah, it can climb its way out of here and maybe get rejected at the arc when the time comes and then try to get more and more bullish that way. So I can see something like that happening for Tesla, but not sure if it really needs to go back and retest that the 240s again down below or not. So we'll see if that does have to happen. But this is a normal recovery so far, just a very, very aggressive short-term downtrend, right? Very aggressive, but it went to a destination, and that destination was the symmetry of the whole chart, and that is a beautiful symmetry so far, even with that pain right there. So I still think a nice recovery is coming, but we got to just get through this choppy action, and this chart is saying it all, right? It's just stuck in this little horizontal channel here between these fibs, waiting to break out. So I think once it breaks out above this 273 zone, then I think it can accelerate to the 300s pretty quickly after that, but not sure how long that is going to take. So with that said, I think I see a BlackBerry request. Yeah, the reported earnings. I guess the earnings were not so good. I don't know. So BlackBerry, there's a couple things
Let's see.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
they
go ahead.
reported. Yeah, so pre-market it's down to 310, and I have the monthly chart here pulled up. I know this is a weekly. This is the monthly chart, and I have this pulled up just to show you guys that from the all-time high in 2008 down to the low down here in August of 2024, all it did is retrace back to the 236, and that was resistance. So that was kind of obvious why it got rejected there. But when you look at everything else in these indicators here with the Ichimoku and the SMAs, we can see that it also got rejected at that 50-month moving average and came back down. And it tried to hold the conversion in the base, but no, it wasn't good enough. And I think the reason why is because the weekly chart was just really extended. So when we go to the weekly chart, we can just see that it's back inside the cloud. It's back challenging the 50-week moving average. And it just wants to maybe retest this previous resistance zone right here. When we look at this chart right here, right? Look at that, a previous resistance zone, breakout, and it's kind of back testing right now. So I think right now pre-market around $3 actually doesn't look too terrible for BlackBerry because it does have the potential to recover for the rest of the week, but it just might be getting that liquidity underneath. But the real question is, does it need to go back down to the bottom of the cloud or not? And that's something that nobody ever really knows. So we'll see. We'll see if it does need to get down to the 260s down here to get all that liquidity down here. But in the meantime, it's retesting a previous resistance zone before the breakout. And I do like that setup a lot when things backtest previous resistance before breakout, because that usually has a lot of demand down there for stopping the price from falling.
Yeah, I think I just want to revisit my BlackBerry chart. I think when I got requests for this earlier, when things were up high, and I just said, well, here's a from the $2.49 low. I'm sorry, $2.01 low right here in August, after the August 5th carry trade last year, up to the 626 high. I just drew on here an ABC retrace that was like 382, 236, 618. And you can see instead of that, BlackBerry chose violence, and it went all the way down almost 86. So, like if you really wanted to, oh my god, perfect if the market opened and it went right to 92 and then lifted off from there. So, but I'd say, like Matt says, anywhere between now and this 292 would be a great place to buy. These are buy order blocks. There's like several of them overlapping. There's one here from 321 to 280. There's another one here from 292 to 261, and another one down here just above 249. So, yeah, BlackBerry, look, the market is interested in picking it up down here. MCDX plus. Oh, look, and then on the 8 hour, you know, oh my gosh, brain, the relative strength index really oversold here. So yeah, may not be a bad place to pick up. And then over the longer time frame, um, if this just got a retrace to the 618, that would take it back to 1855, or from where? Oh, this is where I was. It was up here. From 374 to, oh, it's a weekly, so actually we're down. From 292 to 1855 is a 535% increase. Even if it just retests the 232 and gets rejected, that's still 189% higher. And you can already see all the buy order block, or I'm sorry, the sell order blocks set up right here under the 236 fib at $8.33. So not a bad gamble. Not a bad gamble at all.
Yeah, I might buy some of that around
That's it for
$3.
me.
Why not? Why not?
I've got Lunar ready.
Yeah,
I'm
go
going to go
ahead.
right into Lunar because I see it on the requests, and it's one I own myself, and I'm like watching it very carefully. Um, so here's my. I better do it on an 8 hour chart too. 8 hour. So from this, there we go. Oh, I decided to just kind of go from here, just going from this at $3.10, 5 waves up to $24.95, and then back down to $6.26. So this is my what I'm looking for an hour in wave three. I'm looking for a conservative 382, 236, and then 1236 after that. So in the short term, where Lunar is right now in pre-market, uh, just to retest that 236, that's up 60%. If it gets over it to the 382, that's 103% higher. So again, I like my positioning where I'm at. Though, well, actually, my positioning wasn't great because I bought it here last week. So my cost base is actually just under the 236 at just about $11. But looking for it to get 14.16 back to 11.42, and then on up to 33.27, which would be 366% higher from where it is now. Okay, that's enough about Lunar. Go ahead, Matt. Back to you.
Yeah, I got Lunar. I got Lunar too. So here's my Lunar chart, just with the GAN, with the moving averages and the Ichimoku cloud, and it already went back down to the orange level of the GAN here, which was in March, early March, March 10th, March 13th. It went down there, and I think that is kind of trying to hold at support. And pre-market, it is a little bit below the 100-week moving average, and it's a little bit below the arc. But I'm kind of watching this little zone very, very closely because I want it to hold basically from current price down to the 670s. I really want to see that hold just to consolidate there and try to break out above this cloud. And if it can get back above the cloud here around the 760s, 770s, then I think it can finally break this arc in the $8 range and go higher. So right now we're just seeing it's kind of really stuck for Lunar, but it is in a very important demand zone, I think, with all these previous candles, also all this previous resistance back in February of 2024. So with that said, I think it has the potential to continue its journey up towards this resistance, but whether or not it can break it, it's got to prove it to me first. So I just want to see if the 770s right here can get broken, flip to support, and then go higher. So really stuck in a tight range right now. between like the 670s and the top of the cloud, the 760s. So that's kind of the range until one of those levels breaks.
I guess I'm just thinking. I'm just going to riff off here for a minute. The the thing that people are terrified about with the tariffs is that it will drastically. Well, on one hand, if the tariffs go through and they stick, it's going to drastically change the way the supply chain works for all manufacturing, even domestic manufacturing. So much stuff is made overseas and then shipped in to be assembled in the United States. Whenever you have a big paradigm change, you'll have lots of winners and lots of losers. So the trick is to pick the winners over the losers. And let me tell you right off the bat, if we do greatly increase not just manufacturing but like industrial production, we have to start making chemicals and basic stuff in the United States. We're going to need a lot more energy. So energy stocks will be the big winners if the tariffs stick and go forward for a while. Of course, the one thing with Trump is that in the past he's been very inconsistent. So there is a chance that he, has Liberation Day today, puts all these big tariffs out, and then just like rescinds them like a week or two later. So I think, but if it sticks, energy will be a big winner because they're going to have to build out um, just an incredible energy grid and energy storage in the United States to support all the industry. And the wild thing will be how they decide to end up financing all that, because of course it's like a chicken and the egg. The in the local industrialism will need more energy to build out, but they need to build the energy out in order to get the increased industrialization. And so, once again, will it be the consumers that get struck, or will they, come up with some kind of big spending bill to take care of the energy build out? Anyway, that's sorry. I just wanted to. That was on my mind. I just want to stick that up there.
They are terrified.
I know. It's a terrifying day.
Terrifying. Yes. Okay. Speaking of energy, I actually wanted to go over like Enphase and First Solar just because I think their bear market is kind of ending. I was really early on Enphase last year, and it just lost that $100 level, but it's really in the bottoming process now for Enphase, and I think it's ready to have a fantastic 2025. Honestly, I think it finally got to the bottom of the arc. It wicked below, it held perfectly, and now it's getting back above the conversion line kind of for the first time. It is a little bit in between. It's not really decided if it wants to kind of flip it to support yet or not, but I think it's in the process of doing it after not being above it since September of 2024. For a long time, it has not even tried to attempt to stay above it, but now it is. So I think it's the beginning of something amazing for Enphase. I think it can go easily back up to the 70s up here, and then maybe even up to the bottom of the cloud in the 80s, and do some kind of like get rejection up there somewhat. But I think, I think $100 is back on the table now for later on this year for Enphase, and I think it's in the process of bottoming here. And also First Solar uh, is also looking like it's in the process of almost bottoming too. I think it wants this 117 down here, the 702, the 117.77, or this 45-degree angle, which was also kind of an important angle before. So I think we go down a little bit more. And also, if you go back here, guys, you can see it was a previous resistance right here, breakout back test. So another back test of that zone wouldn't make sense. So let's say 117 down to maybe 109, 110. I think that could be the bottom for First Solar for something to finally get a recovery going. So I'm not too concerned about these energy stocks, these solar stocks, really too much anymore. They look like a lot of the pain's been factored in. Enphase looks better than First Solar, to be honest, right now, because First Solar already just recently lost this support right here, this November 2023 support. So it kind of has that as resistance now. So I think this is probably going to spend more time going down first. But once it gets down closer to like the 115 or the 110 zone, I think that's going to be an amazing opportunity for First Solar, but it's not there yet. So just be patient with this one. But Enphase kind of looks like it's ready. So just be prepared for some bullish activity for in phase. And it's actually, with all this volatility, in phase has been mostly green all the time, so it's not too scary. So I'm not so terrified with in phase right there.
And I want to do EOSE because their battery storage. If they're going to, build
Yeah,
out a huge grid, they're going to want to do more energy storage to bring in all those different kinds of different energy. Um, yeah, and it looks like it really did. I was hoping that would be the bottom. Came back down just like Tesla. Everything else, like it, like made this great run up, fake out, and came right back down. Only a slightly lower low at 362. So, um, if you don't have an EOSE position, you could take one now with a stop below 362. But I'm looking for at least 382, 236 again. So, look for it to at least try to test 504 on the first go, which is about a 29% increase. If it gets up to the 382, that is 51, almost 52% higher from where price is right now. And then over the long term, this is does 382, 236, 1236, 764, and then 2236. All right. Oh, maybe if I did this on like a weekly, it look a little, less crazy. Oops. Yeah, so something like this, longer term perhaps. Its IPO is 1050, so kind of getting over that will be a nice change. So there you go. There's my long term EOSE projection. I like it right now. I'm gonna get some back again. Kat is asking me about Kalidi. This said, but man, they just keep running it down and down. It's Kalidi is stuck in that cycle of they get a blow off top, and then they do a fundraise or a reverse split. Well, actually, blow off top, fundraise, come down here, reverse split, blow off top, fundraise, reverse split. So at some point, you know, I've still got a lot of this. I still sometimes you just can't love a company or a product and make money, but I still love I think they could really do well with their product. So let's just see. For myself, I'm just going to wait and see, turn this thing around, and start making money off of the anti-cancer products that they've developed, and the anti-cancer delivery system that they have as well. So just on the shorter term, an ABC retrace just back to this previous high of 389 from the low. We just made a new lower low at just about 51 cents. So $1.80 back to $1.31 and then 260. And that's got some good numbers behind it. I mean, if it just gets back to the 236 and fails, that's still 137% higher than where it is right now. Actually, wait, I think I missed it a little bit. 126% higher than it is right now. Up to the 382, that would be 209% higher. And then if it does this ABC, that gets us to 346% higher before it does a consolidation before moving up higher again. So it's been a falling knife. I'm sorry. Uh,
yeah, yeah. Those falling knives, they
is there
scare
one you want to
me.
do next?
Actually, I wanted to just
Yeah.
review. I
I,
wanted to review. Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to review EOS myself after that. Just wanted to take a look at it. And one thing I noticed
Please.
about EOS myself is it's still stuck under the 200-week moving average, even pre-market. It did close yesterday above, but 395 is that 200-week average, and it's also underneath the 442. Very important number here. So I think if it can't get back above this 395 zone, it might even drift a little bit lower. Maybe even like wait for this 50-week moving average to kind of catch up to price in the future, wherever that might be. Whether that's right here where this previous resistance is, and I do see it right here, maybe where this breakout was and the previous resistance. So I could see the 330s getting touched at least for EOS before it wants to go higher. And you can also go back in time, back in August 2022, it was a big resistance zone too. So I could see that going down there a little bit lower first, maybe just waiting for this 50-week moving average to catch up to price, getting closer to the cloud before going higher. But yeah, the market structure is still fine. I'm just not convinced it really wants to go higher just this week or next week or the week after. I think it might just spend some time consolidating first before going higher. And I think Tesla has the numbers, right?
Yep, I'm seeing it too.
Oh, 255. Oh, no. 256. Oh, no. 254. Oh, God, no. Ah. Let's be terrified
It wicked
together.
down. It wicked down to 253 even,
253.
and now we're right back up. Yeah, we're down to 253. Now we're back up to 255 ish. And it's kind of fighting around. Again,
Yeah.
like I said, so it went under that 23.6% fib at 261.49, but just put that on your chart. Like watch that 261.49. One at some point it's going to get back up over it, make it support, and then it'll start to take off.
Let's also look at this
So
linear.
just this week,
Let's look at this linear scale fib right here, the 258.15. That's kind of an interesting level because it's also a very big previous resistance zone. So if we want to watch some stability, let's watch some stability on top of this 258.15. All right.
We're so close.
You want to show your chart?
Close to each other. I mean, sure. I mean, it'll look like everyone else's chart right now. Had a wick down to 253 even, and now it's right back, sort of arguing this where it did the price gap before, and yeah, it's just kind of hanging out. I think that based on the max pain for this week and the fact that it's Wednesday now, it's going to stick around 260. I think we're going to close the week around 260. We could see it get back over this 261.49 and Matt's 258. Go higher from there. I just want to point out that the monthly, where is it at? Oh, maybe if I go to a daily chart. Oh, and you know it's on this chart over here. I'm sorry, I've got two Tesla charts. Where is it? I'm sorry. I had a. Well, here I can see it now. We're now in the new month. The next month, the monthly center pivot is 260.04, and here at 303. So I think it's going to argue between. It should end up staying around 260 this week, and then it's going to argue for that 303 next over the next couple of weeks after that. Is my opinion.
Yeah, I think there's just too much fear out there, but let's watch that 258 level and also the 200-week moving average is still at 249 down below too. So
yeah, people thought Tesla was going to just absolutely clean. 01 is still holding as the low, and then so far 243.36 still the higher low. So I like where everything's going from here. Just look for it to get back over 261.49, and away we can go after that. But it might not be until after Friday's over. We might get a Friday close near 261 or 260. I mean, all right. I think I'm just repeating myself now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay, right? It's trying to stabilize around there. The 200-week moving average is at 249. Maybe it goes down there today. I don't know. But essentially, let's remember how the week opened, and the week opened at 249. right? It opened this candle at 249, so we just are in the same range as we have been the whole week. So nothing is changing with that. And as we can see, I'll just go back to my chart here. That essentially going back to the log scale chart, we're just in that same range. We're in this horizontal channel between two fibs. So let it play out, let it do what it wants to do, and I think it's okay. It's not cratering, it's not tanking right now. Let's just watch it in this zone here. However high it wants to go into the 270s, however low it wants to go into the 240s is fine. It's just in that same horizontal channel. So I think we don't need to panic too much. Don't be too tariff-fied. Yeah.
I love that joke. You get to do that all week. I mean, all well from now until the end of the tariff.
Yes, exactly.
Connell.
I think that's it.
I'll show my Connell
Okay.
chart here. Oh, okay. So Connell, if it can hold, 1245 is the low that it just hit like on Monday. If that can hold as the low, then 382236 gives us some nice movement. Like, if you're not in, you could end and just put your stop to 1245. But to the 236 as resist, that's 124% higher. To the 382 is 210% higher. And then that off along with Bitcoin, hopefully, up to 115.74 for 0.6. So, we still like it. I've been averaging. Well, actually, I think I pulled up stakes and then put stakes back down here. My cost basis. And gosh, looking on the short term, it had all these gaps. Yeah, it still has a price gap way up here at 1653 that it left behind, and it gapped down here, filled that gap, left a gap here. So just look at 1245 is your stop loss. If it shouldn't go lower than that. If you want to be conservative, you could even make 1325 your stop loss, though that might be a little tight. All right, that's it for us. I guess it's 9:07. Matt's got to go. Any final thoughts, Matt?
Gonna run away. No, I see some people were saying that yeah, we were talking over each other. I think there's a lag between you and me or something because we do talk over each other sometimes. But
that could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Partly my fault. All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, same time, same channel, and you guys have a great rest of the Liberation Day today.
Yep, happy Liberation Day. Bye, everybody.
See you later.